Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP, and I gotta start with this. Binance's XRP stash tumbles to record lows. Liquidity freeze. Everybody's talking about this right now. XRP supply on Binance hits rock bottom, a strong sign of institutional interest or lack of retail demand. And they're talking about 300 million XRP disappearing since early October of this year. You know, we always thought there would be scarcity for XRP, but we thought it was years and years away. Here it is, 2025, and scarcity is being talked about everywhere. The articles that drop are about scarcity. All day long, I see people asking Jake Claver when the XRP is going to disappear on the over-the-counter desk and in the dark pools. Because for the first time, we realize 100 billion XRP might not be enough. XRP can now be purchased via Apple Pay and Google Pay across 40 countries. So this is another app on Apple Pay and Google Pay, and it came from swap.com, and it shows you can buy XRP in 3 easy steps. What I like about this is the fact that when you make something easy, people are going to use it. So this will bring more people into crypto. And it might not even be through XRP. It might be through some other cryptocurrency. But once they get into this space and they start realizing which cryptocurrencies are part of the new financial system and which cryptocurrencies are speculation or hype, right away people start to go towards real value. And I really like the idea of how easy this actually is. This is a perfect example of why to never keep your XRP on the exchange. As soon as it's about to rip, they all of a sudden have an issue. And you see CME futures halted. Incredibly, just as silver and gold were about ready to launch. Same thing's going to happen with XRP. I'm telling you right now, once XRP breaks out into price discovery, you're going to see the exchanges halting trades. All of a sudden, you can't sell. You can't buy either. Then the price comes down a little bit, and then right away, the exchange comes back up and running. This is why you don't keep your crypto on the exchanges. Not your keys, not your crypto. Attach your wallet to the XRP ledger and you could just do swaps right over the DEX. And Google walks you right through it. And so it begins, says Paul Barron. And you see here, Ripple's RLUSD recognized as accepted fiat reference token for use within Abu Dhabi's ADGM. So now RLUSD is looked at as fiat in the UAE. I really like the idea of this. So they're going to be carrying out cross-border payments utilizing RLUSD. Once they start doing that, then all of a sudden they might start utilizing XRP because XRP makes cross-border payments even faster and even cheaper than using RLUSD. But it really doesn't matter because this RLUSD will most likely be running across the XRP ledger anyway. Whenever value is moving across the XRP ledger, it adds utility and value to XRP. Ripple RLUSD stablecoin surpasses $1 billion in supply on Ethereum. Now, I know recently Ripple has been doing more on the XRP ledger. the last 10 mints happened on the XRP ledger. But it's nice to see RLUSD continuing to build momentum. I always said it's eventually going to become a top 10 stablecoin. Then it's going to become the #1 stablecoin over time. Pundit says XRP has been a speculative asset waiting for the next rally. And Crypto Eddie says, because the XRP ledger doesn't have smart contracts, it relies on other protocols for yield, utility, and staking. And she promotes Flare in this post. Listen, I absolutely love Flare. I think it's going to be a monster. I also think it's going to bring a lot of utility to XRP. But I'm not going to say it should be XRP versus Flare. They're going to complement each other. And I just see more value in XRP. And David Schwartz says, Ripple should have prioritized smart contract capabilities on the XRP ledger sooner. But now we know that they have a smart contract solution. Ripple began exploring smart contract capabilities on the XRP ledger last year. The initiative has already produced significant results, with the feature deployed on the XRP ledger's AlphaNet earlier this year, enabling developers to test it before its eventual rollout on the mainnet. So they already came up with a solution to smart contracts. And that's going to be great for the XRP ledger. You're going to see a lot of projects onboarding and so on. Flare adds utility to XRP. It allows you to also stake and earn with your XRP as well. But I would not say one is canceling out the other like Crypto Eddie is implying. And this comes from Cyprus. Most people still think of crypto in the terms of price. But the next big shift is going to be about cryptography itself. This report makes it clear the encryption that secures today's digital systems, including blockchains, will eventually be broken by quantum computing. That means any asset meant to survive long term needs to be built on quantum resistant foundations, or at least be ready to migrate. We're talking about a once-in-a-history event where the basic security layer of the internet, banking, and digital value all has to be upgraded. For long-term investors, the assets and networks preparing now for post-quantum cryptography and agile security will be the ones that remain trustworthy when the shift comes. I always said, it goes beyond just quantum proof. We already know the XRP will be quantum proof before quantum computers are even a threat. But let's talk about crypto in terms of price. I always tell people, don't look at the price today. Look at where the price will be a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now. We are on the verge of institutional adoption, which is going to lead to mass adoption. Most cryptocurrencies that are out there right now are going to be gone once regulations get here. Where do you think all the liquidity that's sitting in those cryptocurrencies, where do you think that's going to end up? In cryptocurrencies that survive the bottleneck event called regulations. Even Brad Garlinghouse knows. Lehman Baird from Hedera, he has said it as well. Others have said it. They're warning you now that if you're holding a cryptocurrency that has no real value, real world use case, most likely that cryptocurrency is going to be gone when regulations get here. And the cryptocurrencies that are left are going to be skyrocketing in price because that's where all the money will be flowing into. And I really think it's going to be maybe out of all the cryptocurrencies we see today, maybe 100 of them will be in existence in the future. XRP Rich List. Now, this is the updated list, and everybody keeps talking about this. They're saying that it takes less and less to get into the 1%. What's really happening here is people aren't selling their XRP. New wallets are being created every single day. I know new investors are entering this space every day. I see them on X. You could tell by the questions that they're asking. You could tell by the cryptocurrencies that they're talking about. Now, most of them, they're at the stage where they're still chasing meme coins and so on. Eventually, they will all end up in utility at the end. But the rich list isn't people selling. That's why it's not shrinking like people want you to believe. It's just more and more people are getting into XRP. Same thing with XLM and XDC and HBAR and so on. Cbdc rollout slows as countries hit pause. Reevaluate the risk. What's going on here is this. I think the reason why a lot of these countries are so reluctant now to have a central bank digital currency, it's because stable coins are literally taking over the world right now. Every single country wants to have their own digital currency, either it be in the form of a central bank digital currency or a stable coin. But who's going to use a central bank digital currency when they have stablecoin options? And that's what's happening right now. So I think it's slowing down CBDCs, and maybe it will push a lot of these countries away from a CBDC, which would be absolutely incredible because I'm telling you, the CBDC system, nobody wants that. Imagine having a currency that expires over time. They could claw it back. They could control what you buy with it, all at the central bank. I'd rather a stable coin that's issued by a private company. Now, RLUSD can be clawed back, and I think that was a feature that stablecoin had to have because of sanctions and so on, illicit activity. But XRP cannot be clawed back. I gotta stress that as well. I see a lot of people saying that. Oh, Ripple could just pull your XRP right out of your cold wallet. That's not even possible. You can't claw it back. But I would like other countries to go in the direction of stablecoins as well. It will be better for their citizens long term. But that's what's killing central bank digital currencies. It's stablecoins. The digital dollar is going to be a must-have because they want to get that into countries where the dollar cannot reach into right now. Third world countries and so on. That's why it was always about a level playing field, banking the unbanked. Because the unbanked population, it's pretty big. So if they could get US dollars into the hands of the unbanked, that would just strengthen the US dollar. And I think that was the whole idea of a digital currency to begin with, like a digital dollar. But in the form of a stable coin, I think more people would be open to use it for everyday purchases and so on. People would adopt a stable coin before they ever adopt a CBDC. But it doesn't matter to XRP holders because XRP can move the dollar in fiat form, in its current form, in its digital form. Even if we had a central bank digital currency, XRP could still move it because it can move anything of value. And that's why we will always get rich in the end. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.